Good Tuesday evening and welcome to the Ncwlife Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Before we get to today's top news stories, let's take a quick look outside our weather window. And as we head north, our Billy Goat camera, our Sky-Fi Tower camera up in Okanagan County, looking towards Brewster. And, well, I guess Brewster is down there somewhere. Lots of smoke and haze, especially north of us, where the folks in Okanagan County are seeing a little bit of smoke from not only the area fires here, but also some fires up in British Columbia that's driving some smoke down into the Okanagan Valley. So yes, very smoky around Pateros, Brewster, and then points west over into Twisp and Winthrop as well. And the bad thing is, or maybe the good thing as far as smoke goes anyway, winds will pick up this afternoon and it should scour some of that smoke out. In fact, we could see some of the strongest winds right here in the Wenatchee area. I really don't think that'll be until probably tonight for us in Wenatchee. Still fairly calm winds this afternoon, but we could see gusts as high as 25 miles an hour. Not good news for area fires that are currently burning around the area. And we'll talk more about winds and cooler temperatures coming up in your weather forecast a little bit later on. And now a few of the stories we're following for you tonight. The Microsoft Corporation is proposing to add 72 emergency backup generators at its data center in Quincy. And a rabid bat was found last week on a pathway at Omi Gardens in Wenatchee. That makes 5 rabid bats found already this summer in the Wenatchee Valley. We talked to the Chelan Douglas Health District. But first, we begin tonight an update on area wildfires. The Chelan Hills fire south of BB Bridge has been held to 842 acres and is now 97% contained. 244 fire personnel from the DNR, the BLM, and Douglas County Fire Districts 1, 4, and 5 are working the perimeter of the fire. 2 primary residences, 1 seasonal home, and several outbuildings have been confirmed as damaged. Some corn and about 80 acres of wheat fields were also damaged in that fire. There are no road closures or evacuation notices in effect at this time. Meanwhile, the Cougar Creek fire has grown in size and is burning in the mountains about 20 miles northwest of Entiat. A Type 2 incident management team took command of the blaze earlier today, and crews fighting the Chelan Hills fire have also arrived to assist. Robin DeMario, Public Affairs Specialist with the Okanagan-Wenatchee National Forest, provides an update.
It's estimated now to be between 600 and 800 acres in size. For today, as of noon today, there was a level 1 fire advisory for both sides of the Entiat River Road, from the Mad River Road up to the end of the Entiat River Road. So that's just so folks know that there's a fire in the area and that the smoke they might be seeing is from that Cougar Creek fire. It is very steep, inaccessible, and in the area where the fire started, it was very dense, so many trees in that area. It's in an area that hadn't burned back in, say, the 94 and the Tai fire or any of the other fires after that. So where it started had a lot of fuel to start in, and so it has spread.
The lightning-caused Cougar Creek fire is burning in heavy timber, snags, and logs in steep, inaccessible terrain. The Upper Mad River Trail System and the Tommy Creek Trail have been closed until further notice. Well, a very active 25-acre wildfire is burning in heavy timber in also an inaccessible area of the Methow Valley Ranger District. This one is about 13 miles west of Mazama in Okanagan County. Once again, Forest Service Public Information Officer Robin DeMario.
We've had firefighters, smoke jumpers, helicopters, and air tankers, in fact, utilized on the fire to help slow its spread because it was burning in very heavy timber with a lot of down wood on the forest floor. So there was a lot of fuel for that fire to burn in. So things have been going pretty good there. Firefighters have been able to get a line around at least 25% of it, and they continue to work on that fire.
DeMario says some campground and trail restrictions have been modified, but the Lone Fir Campground and Washington Pass Overlook remain closed. Lightning from thunderstorms this past weekend started 22 wildfires in the Okanagan-Wenatchee National Forest, most of which are less than a half acre. Well, the Microsoft Corporation is proposing to add 72 emergency backup generators at its data center in Quincy. In order for that to happen, the additional generators require an updated air quality permit from the Washington Department of Ecology to ensure that people and the environment are protected. The diesel engines and cooling towers release fine particles into the air. Exhaust from the engines release other pollution like carbon monoxide, nitrous oxide, and volatile organic compounds. Air pollution can cause health problems for people who are exposed frequently and at high enough levels. The expansion puts the facility into a new air permitting category, and the company will also be required to submit an air operating permit application within 1 year after receiving approval to install the new equipment. A public hearing on the air quality permit application will be held. The time is 5 o'clock coming up on August 27th at 115 F Street Southwest in Quincy. Well, a rabid bat was found last week on a pathway at Omi Gardens in Wenatchee. That makes 5 rabid bats found already this summer in the Wenatchee Valley. Ncwlife's Megan McPherson met with Barry Kling from the Chelan Douglas Health District to discuss how rabies affect bats and people and what to do if you ever encounter a bat.
Hi, Megan here with the NCW Life channel. We are here with Barry King with the Chelan Douglas Health District. Barry, there have been several reports recently about rabid bats found. Can you tell us about rabies?
Well, rabies is an unusual disease because it's one of the very few that's always fatal. There have been only 1 or 2 people in medical history who've ever recovered. So when people are exposed to an animal like bats that could be rabid, we're very conservative about how we deal with it, and we've had a lot of bat encounters with people this year. An unusual number, about twice as many as we had last summer. And of course, the summer isn't over yet. So we've submitted 38 bats for testing to the State Public Health Lab, and of those 5 have turned out to be positive. And of course, a number of people have had rabies shots as a result.
How do you test bats for rabies?
Well, you have to send them to the State Public Health Lab, and a local health department like ours has to do that. So, and what they do is test the brain of the bat. So the bat doesn't have to be alive when captured, but it has to be in good enough shape that they can do that. Occasionally we'll deal with a bat that's been run over, abused, and can't be tested. And then people who've been exposed to it would have to get rabies shots because you don't know if the bat had rabies.
And what does a rabid bat look like? Are they still flying around? Are they laying on the ground?
Well, they look like every other bat. Probably the main difference is that if you see a bat flying around in daylight, there's probably something wrong with that bat. It doesn't mean it's definitely rabies. Probably about 1% of the bats in the wild have rabies. And of the 38 we've tested, as I said, 5 were positive, so that's a little more than 10%. Because once they're flying around in town, they're probably sick in some way. But, you know, they don't look any different. They're not a different color. You know, they might be dead or they might be sluggish, but then again, that can be caused by a lot of things. But rabies is so invariably fatal that we're very conservative, and we work with people and their doctors to make sure that they don't take any chances.
What are some symptoms of people and animals that exhibit rabies?
Well, once they have rabies, a person or an animal will, you know, begin with relatively mild symptoms, even flu-like symptoms, but it rapidly progresses to much more serious symptoms, to nervous system dysfunction and convulsions and that sort of thing before they die, in a human anyway. And they really are repelled by water, so that idea of hydrophobia is not a myth. That actually is part of the syndrome. So it's a really pretty ugly disease. But if you get rabies shots within a few days of an exposure, that will prevent the rabies infection.
How is rabies transmitted from a bat to a person?
Well, it generally involves exposure to the bat's saliva, and that can take a number of forms. Of course, if a bat bites you, that's one thing. Bats will sometimes land on a sleeping person and lick their lips or their eyes where there's moisture. If a bat licks itself and then you touch its body where it licked it and you have a hangnail or a small cut, that can expose you. So with a disease this bad, you know, we're really conservative, and infections have occurred with what seem like minimal exposures like that.
What should a person do if they find a bat?
Well, first of all, if it's just a bat in an innocuous place, they should wait and see if it flies away. If it's just, say, on a wall or something like that. If it's in a place where people could be readily exposed to it, or where you think people or pets have been exposed, because pets count too. You know, if your pet gets rabies, you can get rabies. They should, first of all, not touch it. And the best thing to do is to call animal control if you're in an area that they serve. They serve most of our area. Or call public health. We have some good information about how to capture a bat if you have to. And that can be done with thick gloves and by holding a couple layers of plastic bags to grasp the bat. If it's a live bat, it can be trapped with a large can or a box, and then you slide a flat piece of cardboard between that box and the wall. So there's information on that on our website. And the website is cdhd.wa.gov.
All right, well, thank you.
Thanks, Megan.
Megan McPherson, NCW Life News.
Very important information. Thank you, Megan. Coming up next, after residents in the Chelan Valley voted no on a levee lid lift in April, a push to put it on the November ballot has begun. An injury accident happened yesterday afternoon when a motorcycle rear-ended a vehicle that had slowed down to avoid hitting a deer, and the Leavenworth National Fish Hatchery boat launch is closed for the summer starting today. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCW Life Evening News.
Eastern Washington. It's a great place to call home and a great time to own a home. It's the ideal place to lay down roots for your family and your future. Gisa Credit Union thinks Eastern Washington is a great place to own a home too. That's why we offer all kinds of home loans with personal attention every step of the way. We're your home. For home loans, we're Gisa Credit Union.
Choose the pros, Alignment Pros. When your vehicle needs brakes, shocks, struts, or alignment, choose the experts in their field. Alignment Pros and Express Lube with a 5-star rating. The work they perform on your vehicle is as impeccable as their shop. With state-of-the-art equipment, Alignment Pros can handle all large or small vehicles, specialty cars, lifted or lowered. Alignment Pros does them all. Keep your car in top shape at Alignment Pros and Express Lube in East Wenatchee.
At Local Myth Pizza, we believe in real food, freshly prepared with only premium ingredients. Our cheeses are imported from Italy. Our sauces, dressings, and even our sausages are made in-house fresh daily. Featuring Northwest craft beers and 30 Chelan Valley wines and ciders. Family fun and amazing food. Eat local, drink local, and be local at Local Myth Pizza.
Come see why Sunset Magazine says you can't beat Local Myth Pizza.
Welcome back. In another news, after residents in the Chelan Valley voted no on a levee lid lift in April, a push to put it on the November ballot has begun. Without a levee lid lift, the fire district will lose 6 union firefighters who are currently funded by a federal grant. To set an example of why the district is asking for community support on a lid lift, firefighter Sean Sherman shared this video from the fire lines of the South Shore fire last week.
Friday, July 20th, 5:47. We're at Fields Point. We've been on this fire for about an hour now. Our western flank resource,
Indian 7-3 from 702 on Orange.
just advised that they're 200 feet from the head of their fire, and if they had a couple more people, they might be able to get in front of their portion of the fire. And we just got advised by our command that we don't have any more resources available.
Fire Commissioner Russ Jones says if a lid lift is brought to the ballot this fall, they'd make a few changes.
What is being talked about right now would be a lesser increase. It would be, so the 40-cent increase would be about 25-cent increase to $1.17. That would, if that passes, we would be able to retain 3 of the 6 firefighters. We'd have to lay 3 off. And then we'd have to supplement shifts with volunteers. We would need to do a little bit better job of getting volunteers to fill some of those what are called stipend shifts. Lately, the coverage on that has been about running around 60%, and we need to get that up closer to 100% coverage for those available shifts to make this work.
Jones says the district is seeking the public's input during a meeting coming up on August 6th.
What we're asking for is community input, both sides of this issue, to come and speak to us. It's, yes, I know that we had a vote that sent a message. This is a little bit different package at a lesser amount. Unfortunately, the first go-around, I don't think that information got out real well about what it was all about. I'm hoping that both the for and against sides can discuss this on a factual basis. And unfortunately, it's like anything else. There's opinions out there that aren't fact-based, that are actually in some cases kind of silly. And it would be nice if we could have a good critical analysis of this. And frankly, for the people that don't want to vote for this, I hope they're prepared to come down and get measured up for bunker gear.
An injury accident happened yesterday afternoon when a motorcycle rear-ended a vehicle that had slowed down to avoid hitting a deer. State troopers say it happened around 4:30 p.m. on US 97A, about 10 miles north of Wenatchee. The motorcyclist, 20-year-old Wyatt Hines of East Wenatchee, was transported to Confluence Health for treatment. The driver of the 2005 Buick Century, identified as 61-year-old Mark McDonald of Entiat, was also injured. Troopers cited Hines with following too close to McDonald's vehicle. Well, the Leavenworth National Fish Hatchery boat launch is closed for the summer starting today. According to the agency, while hot weather sends people to find refuge in the river, low flows mean recreation can have a great impact on the wildlife. The hatchery says it worries that those who float the river could disturb wild spawning Chinook salmon on Icicle Creek and asked the public to choose a river with higher flow for August floats. You're watching the NCW Life Evening News. Coming up next, your sports update with Eric Granstrom and our feature story tonight. That and much more still to come on the NCW Life Evening News. Stay with us.
Oh, hey, Nate. What you doing there?
I'm just reading a book.
A book? I didn't even know they made those anymore. Where'd you get it?
Right down the street at Ye Olde Bookshop.
Ye Olde Bookshop? I'm gonna go check it out.
If you're looking for a good book to read, or you're in the market for some beautiful handcrafted creations from local artisans, look no further than Ye Olde Bookshop right in the heart of downtown Wenatchee.
It's a free walk-in job search assistance center. It is designed to help job seekers with the tools that they need to find a job. We have partnered with libraries in 5 other cities, providing the same types of services that we offer here, just there.
Just walk in, we have laptops, and we can help you with resume, cover letter.
All of our services are paid for by the revenues earned in our store. Goodwill is just a tool that the community is using to help their neighbors find a job. Goodwill, there's more behind the store.
So Pam, how's your mom doing?
She's okay. She's struggling. She'd like to stay in her house, and it's getting harder for her to do the daily chores.
What kinds of problems is she having?
Just basic house cleaning, you know, taking care of her house, yard work, taking care of her medicine.
Mm-hmm. It does sound exhausting.
It is very exhausting, and I always worry about her.
Aging and Adult Care can assist you or your loved one to remain comfortably and safely in their own home. Contact them today to start the conversation. And now it's a sports update on the NCW Life channel.
And a happy Tuesday. The Wenatchee Apple Sox begin the final 6-game homestand of the season tonight at Paul Thomas Senior Field when Port Angeles comes to town. The lefties are 20-28 on the season, 8-13 in the second half, occupying the bottom of the WCL's North Division. Wenatchee's 20-25, trying to get to the 500 mark with a win tonight. They're currently 9-10 for the second half. First pitch tonight at 7:05. Only one game on the schedule last night as we open up the Les Schwab scoreboard, and it was a non-league contest between Team Cuba and the Victoria Harbor Cats. Randy Camarraza led the way for Team Cuba, going 2 for 3 with a home run and 2 RBIs as the visitors from the Caribbean won it by a final of 8-4. Ryan Ober led the way for the home team, going 3 for 3 with a 3-run home run and 4 RBIs, but not enough for Victoria last night. On the schedule for tonight in the West Coast League, Bend travels to Corvallis. Yakima Valley hosts Victoria. Kelowna's at Walla Walla, and Bellingham sees Cowlitz in town. All those start times at 6:35. Non-league game tonight. Gresham hosting Portland. In his first game off the disabled list, James Paxton outdueled Houston's Garrett Cole in a 2-0 Mariner win at Safeco Field last night. Cole carried a no-hitter into the 6th inning when, with 2 outs, Seattle's Gene Segura and Denard Span singled back-to-back, followed by Nelson Cruz's 2-run double down the left field line. Paxton earned his 9th victory, going 7 innings, allowing no runs, 3 hits, 8 strikeouts, not a single walk. Alex Colomé held the lead in the 8th and turned it over to Edwin Diaz, who worked a 1-2-3 ninth for his 40th save of the season. Manager Scott Service said the 19 days of rest obviously did Paxton well, but he never thought he'd pitch that well.
The Big Maple was fresh tonight. What an outing. What a pitching ball game, both sides. Cole was about as good as you can get. And Paxton's right there matching them back and forth. Probably one of the top pitching games that we've seen all year, certainly on both sides of the ball. But Pax was really, once he got in a groove, it was great to see. I didn't really expect him to go 7 innings tonight, quite frankly. Going into the game, we're kind of monitor his pitches and see where we're at. But he was very efficient. He got on a nice roll. Got some early in the count swings into outs, which really helped him get deeper in the ball game. But can't say enough. It's hard. You don't go out there for 18, 19 days, whatever it was, and go out and dominate a really good team like that. It's not that easy, but it's nice to have him back. Nice to have him back on our rotation. He's happy to be back and quite a performance tonight.
Now, speaking of pitching, the Mariners added 2 relievers in a trade earlier in the day Monday, getting Zach Duke from the Twins and Adam Warren from the Yankees. Seattle General Manager Jerry DiPoto sent minor league prospects Chase DeYoung and Ryan Castello to the Twins for Duke and $1.25 million in international slot money for the Yankees for Warren. American League scoreboard last night, Edwin Jackson allowed 3 hits, struck out 5 in 5 2/3 innings of shutout ball to earn his 100th career win to lead Oakland to a 10-1 win over Toronto. Mark Canha and David Piscotty each hit solo home runs as the A's snapped a 3-game losing streak. Shin-Soo Choo hit 2 home runs and drove in 4 for Texas in a 9-5 win over Arizona. Well, the Seahawks continue training camp at the VBAC in Renton, sponsored by Safeway. Day 5 today, Coach Pete Carroll talks about the absence of Doug Baldwin and the signing of left tackle Dwayne Brown to a 4-year, $46 million contract extension.
We're working on taking care of his a little bit of a sore knee coming into camp, and so we're just going to give him a good break here to get started, and so we're just going to take our time with it and be patient. We came into camp a little bit off, and so just want to make sure that we take care of him. So we know exactly what's going on, and he's doing some special treatments to make sure that we're taking care of him, and then we want to bring him back into shape so we can really get him ready for the long haul. We didn't know at the time how special he was. We really just didn't know the guy well enough. We loved his play. We knew some stuff. We've done our homework, but then when you get him in the locker room with your guys, he's an amazing player, amazing leader. He's in unbelievable shape. Strength, he's powerful. He's just got everything going for him. And the fact that he comes to us, and now that he's been with us enough that he can assert himself as a leader, he's going to be a big factor for us. And so it's a very, very positive move, and really excited about having him.
Seahawks host the Colts in the first preseason game just 9 days away at CenturyLink Field. That's Sports. I'm Eric Granstrom. Grant, back to you.
Thank you, Eric. And we'll be back with your complete local weather forecast right after this.
Todd's a great boss. Sometimes he can be a little intense.
Adam, how about a lunchtime run?
I'd love to, Todd, but I gotta... Oh, Mr. Jones, you made it! I'm glad you can make it. You're really gonna love our lifetime warranty on all new Hondas. Let's walk and talk.
Oh, the running thing? It gets him hustling. I consider myself a great motivator.
With 15,000 square feet to explore, you'll find something special at the Antique Mall at Cashmere. For the do-it-yourselfers and those with a keen eye for making something old fresh and new again, the Antique Mall at Cashmere is the place to come find your next project. From the coin enthusiasts to avid collectors, Antique Mall at Cashmere has treasures in every corner. Come find your treasure today. Antique Mall at Cashmere's friendly staff is here to help. Stop on by today.
Lakeshland Mailboxes is a small place with a lot to offer. Job one is shipping and receiving from A to Z. They pack it, they label it, they ship it. But did you know we also offer notary service, online computer access, legal forms, copies, greeting cards, and of course, mailboxes. Chelan Mailboxes, everything you need in one small package.
Welcome back to the NCW Life Evening News. Time now for a check of that North Central Washington weather forecast. Today, the 10th day in a row of 90 degrees or higher for our official high temperatures. It goes back all the way to Sunday of last week. In fact, 2 Sundays ago when our 90-degree streak began. And it looks like we are going to see the end of this heat wave coming up a little bit later on this week and especially into this weekend. But before we get to those details, let's take another look outside our weather window this afternoon. And yeah, it's some smoke and haze up in the Okanagan Valley. It's from our Billy Goat camera up in the Okanagan County area, looking towards Brewster, Pateros, up that way as well. You really can't tell with all the smoke from our area fires, as well as a little bit of smoke coming down from British Columbia. Let's go to our surface loop now, and our temperature map, it will be changing as we make our way through the week. Today, scorching hot out there. Once again, high temperatures around 100 and even a little bit higher for you folks up in Omak. Moses Lake topped 100 this afternoon, as did most of the cities down in the Tri-Cities area. Tomorrow, it will begin a cool off, about 95 for the high. Thursday, look how our colors are beginning to lighten up a little bit. Most of the reds and oranges are moving off to the east with that area of high pressure that's brought us all this heat. By Friday, we will be very cool. In fact, below normal temperatures by Friday. 89 is our normal high. We'll be somewhere into the middle 80s on Friday. And as we move our way into the first day of our upcoming weekend on Saturday, we're going to stick with those cool temperatures, mostly sunny skies and light winds. It should be just a fantastic weekend ahead. And looking even past that, we will cool down to only temperatures around 80 degrees on Monday of next week with about a 20 to 30% chance of showers. So our weather pattern will begin to change. Let's take a look at your Quick Lube and Tune forecast. There we go. And here's your forecast. 71 the overnight low tonight. 98. It will be windy as well. We do have a red flag warning that will go into effect on Thursday afternoon. Our heat advisory will expire tonight at 8 o'clock. And then look at that cool down. Thursday, 10 degrees cooler at 88 degrees. We'll see 84 on Friday. We'll stay about 84 as we kick off the weekend on Saturday. Sunday looks beautiful as well. Mild with 85. And then much cooler, as I mentioned, on Monday. Partly cloudy, a 20% chance of rain on Monday with a high then well below normal at 81 degrees. And that's going to do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around North Central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or our website at ncwlife.com. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. You can send us an email at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-6295. Also, keep it right here on the NCW Life channel tomorrow morning for Wake Up Wenatchee Valley with host Dan Kuntz and News with Steve Hare. Thanks for joining us and have a great night.
This is TV. This is TV Set Free. TV everywhere from Localtel sets you free to watch what you want, where you want. Catch your favorite networks, including live TV, ready to watch on any web-connected device for no extra charge. That's TV set free. Enjoy the extra value Localtel delivers with TV everywhere. Visit localtel.net and sign up today.
The all-new Yamaha Wolverine X4 offers 4 times the proven off-road capability, 4 times the comfort, and 4 times the confidence to deliver 4 times the excitement on your next outdoor adventure.
Get the fastest internet available in North Central Washington by switching to Localtel and get speeds up to 1,000 meg. Call 888-8888 today or go online to localtel.net.